Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Let's talk about some uncivilized mutts. Some neo-Nazis showed up in a small neighborhood outside of Cincinnati, Ohio, trying to intimidate residents and school children. Didn't go so well. They got up out of there before backup arrived. Check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Look at my baby. Fuck you talking about? Fucking talking about? My baby, that man. Yeah, what these motherfucking dick sucker coming? Fuck on. Alright, cool. Let the cars come. Just don't let them people come back no more. I ain't gonna even say Cincinnati, nigga. This Lincoln Heights. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Before you look at those images of armed black residents in Lincoln Heights and reduce this to people carrying guns in the street, understand what Lincoln Heights is. Family, this is a small community, historically black community outside of Cincinnati. And when neo-Nazis showed up nearby, residents weren't looking at it like some abstract political debate. They saw people openly displaying Nazi symbols near the place they call home. Lincoln Heights is tiny. Let me give you some stats. The village covers only about 0.7 square miles and has roughly 3,100 residents. It's overwhelmingly black. Recent census-based estimates put the black population at about 73.5%. The median age is only about 30.6 years, compared with roughly 40 statewide. Lincoln Heights faces serious economic challenges. Median household income is approximately 26,860, compared with more than 71,000 statewide. Poverty is extremely high. The latest ACS estimate puts roughly 40.6% of residents below the poverty line, although the estimate has a large margin of error because the community is so small. That context matters. This isn't some wealthy political organization mobilizing from outside, fam. These are residents of a small black community reacting to extremists appearing near where they live. The guns will dominate the imagery, but legally, armed residents being present isn't the same as the residents initiating violence. Keep the focus on what the people actually did, not what you imagine they might have done. See, armed black people tend to scare folks. You can see white folks all day long open carrying. They go all up in McDonald's. They're on the playgrounds. They're walking up and down the highway, on the sidewalks, in the middle of town square. It doesn't matter. And they're just being patriots. The moment black people do it, oh, they're about to create a disturbance. Oh, they're violent. They're criminals. This two-tier justice system in America, this two-tier societal system in America will be the death of America. I'm telling you, man, it can't survive like that. The biggest question is why residents felt they needed to protect their own neighborhood. What the hell are the police there for? You know, that's what your taxes are supposed to go toward, policing, not just sewer and schools and roads, parks. It's supposed to go towards policing. And that means that the police are supposed to provide services to keep the public relatively safe, right? You can't tell me the people of Lincoln Heights feel safe with the police allowing neo-Nazis to walk up and down the street screaming racial epithets and throwing up the hell to Hitler. Come on, fam. Come on. The police is in on it. That is the only reason why they allow it. The police don't protect nobody. They don't look after nobody who they don't have personal interest in. I guarantee you, I bet you $1 to a donut that were police officers that were part of those neo-Nazis walking up and down the street. Hell, they probably arranged it. Why do you think they never get hurt when they're going up and walking up and down those streets? Because the police is right there protecting them the entire time. They're using our tax dollars. They're using the residents of Lincoln Heights tax dollars to provide security for uncivilized mutts who are preying on their community. What did they believe authorities could or couldn't do to keep the situation under control that they had to take up arms themselves? I don't want people to get caught up in trying to romanticize the confrontation, an armed confrontation. But a community has every right to organize and protect itself within the law. Armed groups facing one another, that's bad. That's bad. But what are residents supposed to do when they're under siege by hoodlums? There's a powerful contrast. Neo-Nazi imagery represents a political ideology historically built around racial supremacy. Seeing that imagery near a predominantly Black community is naturally going to produce a different reaction than ordinary political demonstrations. So this is the conversation. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. If it's no problem when white citizens exercise their rights to bear arms, to openly carry, if we're all the same, like y'all keep saying we are, what's the problem? You know, because the main ones who say, well, you know, the police need to do something about that. That doesn't look right. They're the same ones who say, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You have the same opportunities we have. You know, what's the problem? What's the problem? The problem is you mothers like to pick and choose. Try to spoon feed Black folks rights based on what rights you think we should be allowed to exercise. The gall. Y'all should be on your knees thanking us, kissing our feet every single day for this comfortable life that we giving you. You make no mistake about it. Black folks built this country for free. Yeah, other groups came along and contributed afterwards, after the dynasty was already created, after America became a superpower. Yeah, other groups came along and benefited and rode the coattail. Yeah, jumped on the bandwagon. Yeah, other groups built also after. This can only be a conversation about self-defense and gun rights. People who strongly support the Second Amendment have to decide whether those principles apply equally when black residents openly carry and exercise those rights. The larger story isn't just guns versus guns. It's a small black community saying, you don't get to bring intimidation to our doorstep and assume nobody here is going to respond. Whatever your politics are, here's the question. Y'all ready for this? No, you're not. But here we go. If you believe Americans have a right to legally defend their homes and communities, does that right suddenly look different when Americans exercising it are black? Yeah, got you with that one, didn't I? Mm-hmm. Can you be honest about it? Can you be straight up? Can you be honorable about answering that question? See, most of you can't because you're hypocrites. You're hypocrites to the highest degree. You was raised by hypocrites, and you'll be buried by hypocrites. Real talk, fam. Listen, the only reason why I talk to some of y'all is because I do believe that some of y'all will listen. I do believe that is hope for some of y'all. I've seen people change, so I know there's hope. Otherwise, I wouldn't say anything. But what is good for the goose is good for the gander. You absolutely cannot be okay with some Americans being able to exercise their Second Amendment rights and others not. This is why I'm actually covering this story. I'm not covering the story to show you, oh, look at black people with the guns in the streets. No. This is a Second Amendment rights discussion because I saw online where a lot of people were angry because these black people were in the neighborhood exercising their right. Now, the cold part is they're in their community. They're protecting their community. They haven't stepped one foot outside of their community. They're protecting their children. They're protecting their homes, their property from uncivilized mutts who decided to just wake up one day and go inject themselves into their lives. It don't go like that. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.